Watch a woman in her 20s walk into a room. Then watch a woman in her 50s do the same thing. The difference is instant. One checks if anyone's watching, the other simply arrives. One adjusts herself constantly. The other settles into her presence. Something shifts between those decades. Something that can't be faked or borrowed. And the science behind it isn't what most people expect. It starts with what she's already survived. Think back to the first time something truly difficult happened. A breakup that felt like the end of everything. A job loss that crushed your sense of worth. Maybe an illness that stopped life in its tracks. At that moment, survival seemed impossible. Yet somehow, the sun still came up the next day. Now fast forward through the years. More challenges arrived, financial stress that kept you awake at night, family responsibilities that pulled you in 10 directions, loss that carved deep holes in your heart. Each time, recovery felt uncertain, but something interesting happened with each round of hardship. The fear got smaller. Research backs this up. Resilience increases with age because of repeated exposure to adversity. The brain learns from each difficult experience. It creates stronger pathways for handling stress. Meanwhile, mature women develop lower fear responses because they have real evidence they can recover. Not theory, not hope, actual proof. This is psychological armor, built from battles already won. Emotional endurance rises as coping strategies become automatic and efficient. Hardship creates a stronger sense of self-capability, which becomes a major source of confidence. Here's the key part. Confidence doesn't develop from perfection. It grows from seeing yourself survive what once felt impossible. Every scar tells a story of strength. Every recovered moment builds trust in your own ability to handle whatever comes next. But survival alone doesn't explain everything about this shift. For decades, there's constant testing, trying different versions of yourself, different careers, different relationships, different styles of living. Some fit well, others felt completely wrong. The confusion isn't small. Who should I be? What matters to me? What do I actually want versus what I was told to want? These questions swirl for years, then something shifts. Studies show women in their 50s experience their lowest level of identity confusion. The fog clears. Internal values become stronger than external validation. Self-awareness deepens. The anxiety about who they should be fades into background noise. Decision-making becomes easier because personal priorities are clearly defined. Should I take this job? Does this relationship serve me? Do I actually enjoy this hobby, or am I doing it for approval? The answers come faster because the foundation is solid. This isn't about becoming rigid or closed-minded. Rather, it's about knowing your core values so well that choices align naturally. There's less second-guessing, less mental gymnastics trying to justify decisions that feel wrong. Makes sense, right? This grounded identity forms a solid base for steady confidence. When you know who you are, criticism bounces off differently. Compliments land more genuinely. You stop performing for an invisible audience because you're too busy living as your authentic self. Yet even with a clear identity, another biological shift happens beneath the surface. The brain changes as you age. Not in the scary way people assume, in a useful way. The amygdala is your stress center. It's the part that screams danger when you see a spider or face public speaking. For younger women, this alarm system runs hot. It overreacts to small threats. Social situations trigger anxiety. Minor embarrassments feel massive. But in later adulthood, something fascinating happens. The amygdala becomes less reactive. Mood swings decrease. Emotional recovery becomes faster. Women over 50 show lower social anxiety and embarrassment response. The same situation that would have caused spiraling thoughts at 25 now barely registers at 55. Why does this matter for confidence? Because calm behavior strengthens it. A steady voice, relaxed expression, smoother communication. When your body isn't constantly flooding with stress hormones, you present differently to the world. People respond to that calmness. They see it as maturity, as wisdom. Emotional regulation improves because long-term brain pathways become more stable. Think of it like this. Younger brains are still under construction. Emotions spill everywhere. Older brains have finished building the plumbing. Everything flows in organized channels. This creates space to think before reacting, space to choose responses instead of being hijacked by feelings. And here's the interesting part. This internal calm isn't just about biology. Life experience isn't just a collection of random memories. It's data. Your brain has been recording patterns for decades. What works? What fails? Who's trustworthy? What situations lead to disaster? What choices bring peace? Pattern recognition becomes faster due to repeated exposure to similar situations. You meet someone new, and within 5 minutes, you recognize their type. Not because you're judging, because you've met 30 versions of them already. The manipulative charmer, the reliable friend, the energy vampire. Let's not forget that mistakes no longer trigger shame. They become guidance tools. Mature women sense manipulation or dishonesty earlier because they've seen similar dynamics before. The sales pitch, the guilt trip, the love bombing. These tactics become visible instantly, not from paranoia, from experience. They stop second-guessing because past outcomes taught them what works. Should I trust my gut about this person? History says yes. Should I take this opportunity even though something feels off? Memory says no. The internal compass gets calibrated through thousands of real-world tests. Confidence grows from reliable internal wisdom rather than guesswork. Younger women often doubt themselves because they lack reference points. Did I handle that correctly? Was I too harsh? Too soft? But mature women know. They've been through enough similar situations to trust their responses. Life experience sharpens intuition and decision accuracy. What looks like natural certainty is actually decades of training in disguise. Yet even this deep well of experience gains power from another shift. For most of life, invisible rules dictate behavior. Be pretty but not threatening. Be smart but not intimidating. Be successful but still feminine. Be a good mother. Be a devoted partner. Be professionally ambitious. Meet beauty standards. Follow career timelines. Seek approval. Fit in. The mental load is exhausting. Then age brings an unexpected gift. Social expectations fade. Beauty standards designed for 20-year-olds become irrelevant. Parent roles shift as children grow independent. Career urgency relaxes as success gets redefined. Peer approval matters less when you realize peers are too busy with their own lives to judge yours. Surveys show women over 45 feel far less judged by others. Personal choices become more authentic and self-directed. Want to dress comfortably instead of fashionably? Done. Want to skip social events that drain energy? Easy. Want to pursue hobbies that bring joy instead of status? Finally, approval-seeking decreases. When that drops, insecurity follows it out the door. Life becomes less about pleasing others and more about personal peace. In turn, mental energy that once went toward managing others' opinions gets redirected toward personal growth. Reduced pressure creates mental space for self-worth to rise. Without the constant noise of external expectations, internal values become louder, clearer, more trustworthy. Freedom from expectation doesn't mean giving up. It means finally choosing what matters instead of what's expected. And this freedom creates the perfect environment for the final transformation. For years, there's a voice, critical, harsh, unforgiving. It points out every flaw, every mistake, every way you don't measure up. The voice compares like judges, demands impossible standards. Then slowly, quietly, the voice softens. Self-criticism loses its grip. Women become kinder toward themselves. Self-compassion rises steadily with age, according to psychological studies. The harsh internal judge gets replaced by a wiser, gentler perspective. Mistakes become part of being human instead of proof of failure. Appearance becomes less tied to confidence. Health and well-being take priority. Wrinkles tell stories instead of signaling decline. Gray hair becomes a choice instead of a crisis. Body changes get accepted instead of fought against. Women embrace their natural traits rather than chasing unrealistic ideals. The energy that once went toward trying to look younger gets redirected toward feeling better. Sleep, movement, nutrition, mental health, real wellness, instead of performing it. Why does this matter? Because confidence increases when self-acceptance is stable and long-lasting. External validation is unpredictable. Trends change, beauty standards shift, opinions vary. However, self-acceptance stays solid. It doesn't depend on anyone else's approval. It doesn't fluctuate with age or circumstances. This inner comfort brings a powerful, effortless presence. It's not about arrogance or thinking you're perfect. It's about being at peace with who you are, flaws included, history included, reality included. Self-acceptance isn't giving up, it's growing up. And that kind of confidence, it's the kind that doesn't fade.